everybody. Today we are going to create two heroes for the One Ring RPG. So as you can see, creating a hero is actually quite a huge undertaking. It comprises of 49 pages for hero creation. Okay, there is artwork in there, but you know, still, there is a lot to take into account. So what I'm going, but of course also a lot of this is the description of the relevant heroic cultures that you can choose from. Now I'm going to, as I said, I'm really in love with Brie, Eriador, Fornost, and so on and so forth. So I will actually create heroes that are from Brie. But let's just at first look at the list of things that you should be doing in order to create a hero. And I've got a, well, I did have a, here we are. A little notepad. So first of all, we have to select a heroic culture. Now, when we look at the Brie book, we have two that we can choose from, I believe. No, we have one. That is Men of Brie. So we are going to go with Men of Brie, or in this case, a Woman of Brie. So, heroic culture. And then we have to record a character's cultural blessings and skills, select two specialties, roll or choose background, record basic attributes and favored skills, select two distinctive features. So let's open the information on Men of Brie, 38. So I've already read this, so I don't really need to go into any details. And I am going to go into when I read this, I completely fell in love with the idea of from the Chetwood, because as you know, I'm very interested in this kind of area. So your kin dwell in the Chetwood, the forest east of Brie. Most of the forest is safe and wholesome, but parts, especially near the Midwater marshes, have their own perils, and as a child you learned to find food that was safe to eat near certain old trees that whispered to one another in the night. It was worth creeping out of Arched Village and risking the dangers of the wood. Because on some nights you could hear elvish singing on the wind when the wandering companies passed by. So we are going to first of all take the suggested calling Warden. We have the following common skills. We have Song 1, Craft 2, Inspire 1, Insight 3, Healing 1, Courtesy 3, Persuade 2, Stealth 2, Hunting 1, Riddle 2, and we get to underline this one, and Lore is 1. So this is for the heroic culture Brie people. Since I have chosen the background from the Chetwood. I get the following attributes. Body is 5, heart is 5, and wits is 3. And I get another favored skill, which is hunt. So I get to underline this as well. Now I can choose 2 traits from those listed. Cautious, clever, curious, determined, patient, reckless, robust, and suspicious. I would say that as a hunter you need to be patient, so I'm going to choose this. And let's check what let's look at traits, if there is a list and explanation of what they do. Trait list table, page 94. So patient means that we are slow to lose our temper and we can suffer fools, delays, or even hardship without complaint. Then I think maybe robust is also one that I would like. So I'm going to choose those 2. My cultural blessing is Bree-blooded. And this allows me that if I have to, if fear test, then TN plus 2. So the target number is 2 higher, so I have to be a lot more successful by 2. However, a corruption check is always -4, which is a very, very good thing. So we also get a specialty. We can choose 2. We have appraising, cooking, herb law, smoking, trading, and woodwright. Now I would say herb law is definitely something that I would like. Herb lore is my specialty. 1. Herb lore and appraising. Let's see what the big book says. Cooking, you know how to prepare food from simple bread to your folks' special dishes. Herb lore, whether used to identify a spice, a plant with curative properties, or a blend of pipeweed, herb lore is a knowledge favored by many races in Middle-earth. Among other uses, this trait may prove helpful when cooking or when preparing a healing salve. So we'll definitely use this one. And let's see what else we have. Smoking woodwright. The art of cutting and carving wood deftly to create useful tools or beautiful things. Well, I would say woodwright because I am from the Chetwood. Woodwright. So I also get to choose weapon skills, and I'm going to go with axes. So I'm going to go with the first list, which is axes 2, bow 1, because I am a hunter, and dagger 1. Because the other one would be spear 2, axe 1, dagger 1, but you know, you don't usually go hunting with a spear unless you hunt boars, I guess. So, let's check. We have recorded our character's cultural blessing, which is Bree-blooded. We've taken down the skills, we've selected 2 specialties, we've selected our background. Okay. Record basic attributes and favored skills. Yes. So now we need to select 2 distinctive features, which we have already done. Those would be patient, robust, and patient. So we're now going to start filling in our first character sheet with this information. We will leave the name blank for the moment. So first of all, we are a woman of Bree. Our cultural blessing is Bree-blooded. All corruption checks. TN -4. Fear checks. And here we have to be very careful because it actually reads, when the men of Bree are required to make a fear test provoked by the special ability of an adversary. Fear checks provoked by special ability of adversary. TN +2. Calling is Warden. Distinctive features are patient, robust. Specialties are herb lore, and woodwright. Our body is 5, our heart is 5, and our wits are 3. We have 1 point in song, Craft has 2 points. Inspire 1. Persuade is 2. Hunting is 1. And it's also favored. Insight is 3. Healing is 1. Courtesy is 3. Stealth is 2. And Riddle is 2 as well. Weapon skills, we have axes, 2. Bow 1. And dagger also 1. So, then we have to think about let's see. Standard of living is prosperous. We have chosen Warden. The favored skill group is Personality and Survival. Each calling description lists 2 common skill groups. When a player selects a calling, he chooses 2 skills from the favored groups from either group or 1 from each group and underlines them as favored skills. So ours is, as Warden, Personality and Survival. And I can choose now either 2 skills from the survival area or 2 skills from personality or 1 each to also add to my favored skills. So let's see. Survival has already got the hunting one, which is already favored. I believe since I don't have any points in explore, I'm actually going to go with healing. And I'm also going to go with persuade. Okay, so I've done this. As a warden, I get the trait Shadow Lore. And my shadow weakness is Lure of Power. And for those of you who play the MECCG, you will notice that this one is actually also found in the MECCG. So now we get to change our now we get to look at our favored attribute skills. So basically you have the attributes body, heart and wits, 5, 5 and 3. And now I get to add 3, 2 and 1. So I'm going to add 3 to wits to make it 6. I'm gonna add 2 to heart to make it 7, and I'm going to add the 1 to the body to make it 6. So now we can use what is called previous experience. Or am I actually going to do it this way? I'm wondering. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I will just actually do something different. I'm not going to use persuade, but I'm going to use explore. So I've got 10 points that I can spend. And I'm going to go with explore, and I'm going to raise it to 3, which is 1 point, 3 point, 6 points. Because that is important, 6 points. I'm going to go to 4 with healing, to 2 with healing and hunting. So I've spent 2, 4, 5, 7, 10. Okay, so I've spent my 10. So when I now roll on explore, I get to roll 3 d6s plus the feat die. And if I spend a point of hope, I get to use this one to add. Let's see, what is my starting hope? It doesn't say. Let's see if there's an index. That's a bit problematic because I do need to know what that. No, this is already the monster part. This is strange, very strange indeed. But I will say they are probably a lot like hobbits from the way they live. They're definitely not like woodmen because they don't live in a beleaguered state. So I will just use the hobbits stats. So my hope is 12 plus my heart, which is 5. So that's 17. Where did I put this now? Oh, hope down here, sorry. So that's 17. And my endurance would be, since I'm a person, like a woodman, 20 plus my heart. So that's 25. Because there I can't go with the hobbits rating because hobbits are much smaller, so their endurance would be less. So, now let's look at valor and wisdom. Now, valor and wisdom measure a hero's resistance to fear and a shadow and track his stature in terms of power and renown. Both scores range from 1 to 6 and rise over the course of the game. Starting scores. At this point in character generation, players are asked to simply prioritize one characteristic over the other. A starting player gives a score of 2 to one characteristic and 1 to the other. Both numbers are entered in on the character sheet in the boxes labeled Wisdom and Valor. Virtues and rewards. Starting with rank 2, characters receive a special benefit with every new rank. Yeah. Starting with rank 2, characters receive a special benefit with every new rank they reach in either Valor or Wisdom. Benefits obtained by raising a character's Valor score are called rewards, while benefits granted by ranks in Wisdom are called virtues. Thus, when a player chooses between the characteristics during hero creation, they are also choosing if their character will start with the game with a reward or with a virtue. So, if a starting character has Valor 2, Wisdom 1, the hero receives his first reward. The player should refer to page 113 and note the details of the first reward due to a hero of this character's culture. Wisdom 2, Valor 1, the hero has displayed his first virtue. The player should go to page 103. Na komm da runter. Should go to page 103 and read about how to choose a virtue among those available to a person from his people. So, Let's see. I think we're going to go with virtue, which means we will have valor 1, wisdom 2. We've several. We have desperate courage. Are you still willing to help me? I am, said Mr. Butterbur, more than ever. You lived all your life on the edge of the wild, but the worst news that came to Bree in your time concerned only brigands or packs of hungry wolves. Now that you know something about the shadow in the east, you are sure you will stand against it should the darkness extend this far west and threaten all that you love. If you are facing an adversary with an attribute level equal to 6 or more, when you are fighting in a close combat stance, you receive a bonus of +3 to your parry score. Okay. Friendly and inquisitive. Drink, fire, and chance meetings are pleasant enough, but well, this isn't the Shire. Since you started your adventures, you have realized that your folks' custom of trading with foreigners may help you in your endeavors. You have perfected your ability to inquire about the doings of strangers without letting curiosity get the better of you, providing you with many safe opportunities to learn from those you meet along the way. During an encounter, if you invoke a pertinent trait using a personality or custom skill, you automatically raise by 1 your advancement points total. Do not mark a check, but raise your earned total directly. Out of memory and old tales. Bree memories being retentive, Frodo was asked many times if he had written his book. Luckily, very few Bree folk have a memory like a lumber room where things wanted always end up buried. You have found that you rarely forget a face, the details of a story, the particulars of a map, or even the type of tracks that a band of orcs you already faced leaves behind. You've learned to exploit this insight to outguess your adversaries and those you meet, and to plan your journeys carefully. When you make a preliminary roll to determine your preparedness for either a journey, a combat, or an encounter, you may make an additional riddle roll. You gain 1 additional success die on a success, 2 on a great success, and 3 on an extraordinary result. That's actually one that could be quite helpful. The big and the little. There were probably many outsiders scattered about in the west of the world in those days. There were probably many more outsiders scattered about in the west of the world in those days than the people of the Shire imagined. Men and hobbits live side by side in Bree, in a peaceful arrangement that is found nowhere else in the world. That's why you know hobbits and their ways very well indeed, and you go along with them quite nicely. You have discovered that this friendliness and familiarity combined with your natural cheerfulness can be a blessing when traveling with others. Raise your company's fellowship rating by 1 additional point. Additionally, you may select a second fellowship focus as long as one of them is a hobbit companion. No, we're not going to do that. Traveler's blessing. As adventurous as you have perhaps proven to be, your feet become more eager when you turn for home. When traveling to a sanctuary you have already opened, you may add your wisdom score to your travel rolls results. Additionally, if you are spending a fellowship phase at home and you choose the Heal Corruption undertaking, you are always allowed to choose a second fellowship phase undertaking. These are actually all very good, and I hope that as I'm telling you these, you realize that there's a myriad of ways you can create your hero and you can live your life as a hero. But I'm going to go for out of memory and old tales. So that is the virtue. So we're going to give ourselves valor 1 and wisdom 2. At the moment we have 10 total experience and we've spent 0. We've 0 left. So as a cultural virtue we get out of memory and old tales. And this and we give this a little asterisk. And in Riddle, we have two dice. This is a very, very good thing. Okay. So now that we have done this, we can look at weapons. So a starting player hero is assumed to carry one weapon for each of the weapon skills he has a rating for. So I get one dagger, one bow, and one from axes, because axes is in brackets, it means I can choose. Now we need to 126 is the list of all the weapons there are. So we will start with the easy stuff. We're going to take a dagger first. So that's a dagger. Its damage is 3. Its edge is Gandalf rune. Injury is 12. And encumbrance is 0. Bow. A bow has damage 5, edge 10, injury 14, and encumbrance 1. And then the axe, and here we have to make a choice. And let's just now look at how weapons work. Sooner or later, every hero on the road to adventure faces a situation where his life will be threatened by hostile individuals or creatures. Indeed, many people in Middle-earth experience this without even leaving their home. Well, why? Domestic violence? An adventurer's basic combat abilities are reflected by his parry rating and damage bonus. Damage. When a character hits his opponent in combat, he inflicts lost endurance equal to his weapon's damage rating. If he achieves a great success, he adds his character's damage rating. What? When a character hits his opponent in combat, he inflicts lost endurance equal to his weapon's damage rating. That would be 3 with my dagger. If he achieves a great success, he adds his character's damage rating as a bonus. His character's damage rating. Okay, so I'll have to calculate this. If he scores an extraordinary success, he adds double his damage rating to that of his weapon. Usually a character's damage rating is equal to his basic body score. Usually. Okay, so my body score is 5. Okay. So it says here that, oh, this is helpful. Should a character's ranged attack damage rating differ from that of close combat attacks, the player should record it in the separate box. Special abilities and items might benefit one type of attack or the other. Okay, whatever. Okay, so parry. This is a defensive bonus, reflecting a character's ability to keep his head in a dangerous situation, to be aware of his opponent's actions, and to ward off an opponent's attacks. Usually the parry rating of a character is equal to his basic wit score, modified by a positive bonus if the hero is using a buckler, a shield, or a great shield. So my parry score is 3. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the great axe, which is two-handed. Damage is 9. Edge is Gandalf rune. Injury is 20. And encumbrance is 4. So a player hero's traveling equipment and each piece of war gear possess an encumbrance rating representing the hindrance that the item causes to the carrier, both in terms of weight and discomfort. For example, a helm which significantly limits his wearer's vision has a higher encumbrance rating than a suit of leather armor regardless of weight. All the encumbrance ratings of the various items normally carried by a hero are added up to find his fatigue score, to be recorded on a character sheet alongside his endurance rating. At the moment, my fatigue is 5. Okay, but we still don't have... Okay, so we've done this. Okay, so we've done this. Okay, so weapon skills. We've got our traits. Valor and wisdom, we've done that as well. So we don't have those, so we've got our, okay, now this is important. Characteristics of weapons and armor. Damage. A weapon's damage rating indicates the harm in endurance inflicted on the target with every successful attack. This value is modified by a character's damage bonus when the attack roll produces a great or an extraordinary success. Yeah. Edge. On a successful roll, the feat die result is compared to the edge rating of the weapon used. If the result matches or overcomes that number, the roll inflicts a piercing blow and the target must make a protection roll to avoid being wounded. Yes. Injury. This is the target number. Okay, now this is going to get a bit difficult, but it's also 10 to 5. So we're going to take a break because I have to feed my cats. So the cats have been fed. And so now we're going to take a closer look at some of this information. So essentially, I have a 2 in axes. So when I attack with my axe, I roll 2 d6s and 1 feat die. And that is actually already a failure because an 11 is the Eye of Sauron. So we'll do this again to see, okay, now this is good. I've rolled a 12, which is a Gandalf, so this is an automatic success. And I also rolled a 6. So in total, I've rolled 13, 19. So I've already rolled a 12, so this is a success. And it's a great success because I have a 6 here, a natural 6. So, so this is a great result. So so my damage is 9 plus my damage bonus 5. That's 14. And now we look at the feat die, and I happen to have a Gandalf rune, which means they now have to make a saving throw to see if I inflict a wound. Because otherwise I would actually remove 14 from their endurance. So they essentially become tired. And if I was using my bow, I would be rolling 1d6 and 1d12. Sorry, 1d6 and 1d12. And that would be 10. So I would then have to compare it to whatever their so what does that actually do? Parry modifier. This is the bonus of a shield gives to a defender's parry rating. I don't have that. Protection. Well, I don't have armor, that's why. Okay, so we should look into whether we want to wear armor. Well, I suppose I will actually wear a leather shirt. I will not be carrying a shield because most of my weapons are two-handed, so encumbrance is 4. And I roll 1d6 for my armor. And my encumbrance is, well, I should also bring in some travel gear, obviously. Traveling gear. I'm just gonna put this at the back and say summer gear is 2 encumbrance and winter gear is encumbrance 3. And since it's now summer, we're going to start playing in the summer. This would be activated, so I have 6, 7, 11. I'm not sure if I want the great axe anymore, because this is actually quite encumbering, and actually I think I will go with a long hafted axe instead, because that can be wielded one- and two-handed. And its encumbrance is only 3. So my fatigue is 10. And the damage is 5 or 7. The edge is 12 and the injury is 18 or 20. Okay, yeah. Indeed, I think this is better. Okay, so that is actually, I believe, all we needed to do. So now we need to select a name. And that was my first character. Let's just take a look at names of people in Brie. $38. I will go with Holly. Wayward. And here is our heroine, who is ready to start on her first journey, and we will also create a second hero, and this one shall be a hobbit from the Shire. So this time we would only be using the base rulebook, and let's just take a quick look. Hobbits. They are also prosperous. The calling will be Wanderer. The cultural blessing, Hobbit sense. Hobbits possess a cheerful spirit and friendliness that makes them good companions. Additionally, they have learned their place in the world a long time ago, and a deep-rooted sense of proportions has found its place in their hearts. No visions or wild fantasies can tempt them, as they do not seek power or control over others. Each Hobbit character in the group increases the company's fellowship rating by 1 point. Additionally, when making a wisdom roll, Hobbits can roll the feat die twice. +1 fellowship. And if wisdom roll roll feat die twice. Common skills, we get awareness 2. And song 2. Travel 1, Insight 1, Courtesy 3, Persuade 2, Stealth is a favored for 3. Search 2, And riddle 2. Well, obviously. So, let's see. We've done the skills. Weapon skills. Let's just check what kind of a background we can have. Restless farmer. I want a high body score. Actually, do I want? Well, okay. Restless farmer, you were born into a family of farmers in the South Farthing where the best pipeweed grows. To satisfy your curiosity and your father's expectations, you started to work at a very early age, learning a lot from farm hands and traders. From time to time, you feel your closeness to the earth move you, awakening a desire to sleep in the fields under a canopy of stars. Body 3, heart 6, wits 5, craft is our favorite skill and distinctive features: bold, eager, generous, merciful, merry, patient, true-hearted, trusty. Doesn't speak to me in a way. Too many paths to tread. Your father was a tradesman and you were supposed to take his place in his workshop in Hardbottle at the age of 33. But before that time, a mysterious wanderlust took you and you were away from home for months. When you came back, you renounced your position to the outrage of your whole neighborhood. But now you know that secretly your father approves. He always dreamed of leaving the Shire to go and see elves. Favorite skill, travel. Body 4, heart 5, wits 5. A good listener. Favorite skill, riddle, no. Tookish blood. I think I'll go with too many parts to tread. So we have body 4, heart 5, wits 5. We have the favorite skill, travel. And we will be clever and keen-eyed. Now let's choose our specialties: cooking, gardener, herb law, smoking, storytelling, tunneling. Tunneling. And storytelling. Let's take a look at the weapons skills. We're gonna go with short sword. Bow and dagger. Let's see. Wanderer gives us favorite skill group, custom and survival, and folklore is the trait. Shadow weakness, wandering madness. Custom and survival, we can choose 2 more. We will go with courtesy and song. For the Hobbits of the Shire, we can choose virtues from Art of Disappearing, Brave at a Pinch, Fair Shot, Tough in the Fibre, Small Folk. Or we could take Bow of the North Downs, King's Blade, or Lucky Armor. 118. Because this young lady will be fighting in close quarters. 118. Or King's Blade. Okay, so we're going to go with Valor in this case and Wisdom. And we have Lucky Armor. Okay, so we're going to take a leather shirt. for encumbrance 4, and headgear we're going to take a cap of iron and leather. And as you can see, this book is a little bit all over the place. We're going to take a short sword, and it does 5 points of damage. Its edge is 10, and its injury is 14, and its encumbrance is 1. We have a bow. We're going to take a normal bow. 5, 10, 14, 1. And we have a dagger, which is essentially 3, 12, 12, and 0 encumbrance. 4, 6, 8 at the moment. Summer gear is +2, so we have 2, 4, 8, 10. Parry is our wits, so 5. Our damage bonus is the body, that's 4. So now we have 10 experience points to spend. I'm gonna go with 1 for athletics. I'm gonna put 1 in travel, so to bring this up to 2, so we're down 3 now. I'm gonna put in 1 in explore. I'm gonna bring awareness up. So now I'm at 7. I'm gonna, yeah. How much explore do we have here? We have 3, so we don't really need this. We're gonna add 3 to travel. And we're done. Okay, so total is 10 at the moment. We have 0 to spend. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at endurance and hope. It would be nice if this was all like in one place, but it isn't. Ah, here we are. The hobbits have an endurance of 16 plus hearts. In our case, this is 21. And our hope is 12 plus hearts, so that's 17. Okay, so we can take 11 points of endurance damage before we go weary, and here we can take 15. Now let's take a look. Is there an example of combat in this book? One 8-1. Okay, you add the parry rating to the TN. So Okay, so now we have two heroes. And now we just have to give her a name. Let's see, hobbits. Hobbit names. They have really interesting names. We will give her the name Hilda. And her last name shall be I could call her Haywood, but then we have the other one who is Wayward. Well, that would be funny. Hilda Haywood and Holly Wayward. That's going to be an interesting combination. So what I've done now is I've created two, and sorry about the silence in the previous... So hello guys, it may be a bit weird for you to see my face and up close and personal too. The reason is that the video that you've just watched breaks off in mid-sentence, and the reason is that my camera ran out of juice, but in the past it would tell me so, but this time it just decided to just conk out. So I have created two characters for the One Ring, and I will try and think about using them in a solo effort over the Christmas period, which is not starting until, in my case, the 10th of December. So there is going to be a lot of time lag between this video and the One Ring that I'm going to do over Christmas. But I still wanted to post this, and I hope that maybe I've inspired a couple of you to go ahead and get the One Ring. I can really recommend it. It's a great system, and if you're into Tolkien, you should get it, just even for the source material in reading it. So talk to you then. Bye-bye. And here's Sauron.